Sorry, my phone storage cut off. The divinity that you bring to the dream realm, it's like you created this set of instructions for yourself, and to be able to conform, but only to your rules, and never conform and be set in this box by anybody else's words or actions or looks or desires or wants or needs. You do not let that construct you in a box. You do not let that give this sense of abolishment. You give yourself abolishments. Speaking of castles, my freaking wallpaper is a castle. Sometimes when words come out of my mouth, it's almost like English is not my first language. Spanish is my first language. And sometimes I trip over my words. It's okay, like, it's fine, but to end the observance or effect of something. Wow. So you do not let nothing or anybody say okay. You do not let nothing or anybody or anything or any word or any kind of action dictate your world. It is completely and utterly your world, your universe. This is your world. This is your world. This is your world. It is your world. It is much more in your hands. You are like the world, in the world of this world. We're gonna get much more into that in another reading, but wow, you're amazing. You are. I'm just so stunned by, like, you use a foolish tactic in order to think that you're being fooled, but it's like this other, like, you're fooling everybody in reality, but people think that you are fooling them, but it's like they think that you're fooling them, but in reality you're not fooling anybody. Okay. sorry The Chariot. Successor, providence. Also war, triumph, presumption, vengeance, trouble. Reversed, riot, quarrel, dispute, litigation, defeat. The Knight of Pentacles, the figure calls for no special description. Exactly. The face is rather dark, suggesting also courage, but somewhat lethargic in tendency. The meaning of lethargic is of relating to or characterized by laziness or lack of energy, feeling or affected by lethargy, sluggish. But somewhat lethargic in tendency. The bull's head should be noted as a be noted as a recurrent symbol on his throne. The sign of this suit is represented throughout as engraved or blazoned display vividly as engraved or blazoned with the pentagram, typifying the correspondence of the four elements in human nature and that by which they may be governed. Divinatory meanings: valor, realizing intelligence, business, and normal intellectual aptitude. Sometimes the mathematical gifts and attainments of this kind success in these paths. Reversed: vice, weakness, ugliness, perversity, corruption, peril. A serious or immediate danger. Perversity, a deliberate desire to behave in an unreasonable or unacceptable way. Beautiful. Honestly, beautiful. Corruption, peril. Okay, perversity. Okay, deliberate desire. Wow. Deliberate desire for an unreasonable or unacceptable way. But it's deliberate desire. It's a deliberate desire. Bro, what? I searched the peril. Peril, a serious or immediate danger, okay? A deliberate desire to behave in an unreasonable or unacceptable way. That's so important right now. A deliberate desire to behave in an unreasonable or unacceptable way. I feel like all these things feels like, and this is going to be maybe a harsh truth, it feels like because of all these activities and things, you might feel like you have the right to perversity, but having that deliberate desire to behave in an unreasonable or unacceptable way, it's like for a moment you want to contradict everything, but in that same moment so much can arise, so much like pent up anger is what I'm trying to aim at, but I'm hearing like just contrary to what you are doing and what you believe in. And once you make an action, or just once you make that decision, it's more of like as soon as it happens, you're questioning why did I do that? Why did I do that? Like, oh my god, is it the end? Like, I know I didn't do all that work just for nothing. I can't do. And it's like this agony, it's this frustration, it's this mental battle with this challenge. But you need to remember, there is no true like it's literally in the picture. You got the star in your hand. You have all this land to go and see and follow, all these mountains to go and explore. You have your horse, you have your armor, you have your brain, strength, capacity for capability and ability. You have it all here, everything and more. It's like this horse, this black horse is so important. It's like glistening, it's glowing to me. The Chariot, I feel like it's giving chariots. successor, providence. Also war, triumph, presumption, vengeance, trouble. It's given like a feeling of setting yourself free. I feel like the word freedom, I'm hearing almost like you have told yourself freedom is not in your vocabulary for some reason. It's almost like you blatantly told yourself, how can there be freedom here? How, if there isn't really freedom? But it's not freedom of a certain like group that's taking you, or a certain like person or physical. It's more of like dismantling yourself into thinking that you are just black and white, but you're not. You're not. You are more. You are so much more. Like, and then, you know, thinking of yourself as this knight, as this prince, as this oh wow. I think that's what's carrying you right now. It's almost this like false identity or false hope that is there. There's this false hope for either a relationship or an identity of yourself. But with a new relationship or a past relationship, you have to step into it brand new. You can't like, or at least, let me give me 1 second. Falling deeper and deeper into yourself is a key. But when allowing somebody else to enter in your vicinity, you do not dismantle what already has been built, what already has been through so much suffering, through so much pain, to then be flipped on the other side. Why are you coercing yourself to be something you're not? Okay. That's what's coming through. I think that there is some harsh truth here. It's like, let yourself be, let yourself allow. Almost like that. That's crazy. There isn't, okay, let me just say this. There isn't a lot of straining work that needs to be done, but there is there is work that needs to be done. We're not allowing ourselves to see that other cup. Why? Why are we not allowing ourselves to see that other cup? And with that question, I'm gonna leave it to you guys, because that is a question you are supposed to answer by yourself. And once you find that meaning, and once you find the answer, I feel like it's gonna take you like this to find out. But it is within yourself. It is this answer that you need to find to give yourself this like enchantment of this is reality, and this is why I'm here, and I am here. I feel like later on we're gonna get more into this like experience. We're gonna get more into this diving in and sitting with the time. It's like you're warped in. You are the time. You are the time. It can't work without you. You are the time. I feel like that's the only word to put it. But Don't forget who you are. Don't forget where you come from. Don't forget that the rubble and the pain do not define you. They might be what sculpted you, what helped make this new version of yourself, but it isn't like that's the full picture. There's a lot of things that you're not seeing right now, and to be able to just feel and to be able to be in the moment is the gift that is given to you. And unfortunately, a lot of, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us aren't seeing it. We aren't seeing it as a gift. We're seeing it more like we've been here for all this time and it's like the same thing over and over again. But this time around is not the same. This time around is not the same. Again, that justice is coming. Like, you are getting exactly what you deserve, and whoever did you wrong in the past, whatever you think you're dwelling on, whatever you think that another person has a hold on you, they do not. And you need to pay attention to your dreams. Either get a journal and write that down, but your dreams are telling you something very, very important. And again, that one person that's trying to be in your ear, whoever it is, this can come from anybody: your family, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your closest friend, your coworker, your boss. Like, holy shit. Let me tell you the story, actually. Let me tell you the story. Now that we're done with the reading, thank you, God. Thank you, angels, for allowing myself to provide that. Let me tell you a story. I had this boss, and I feel like a lot of us are gonna resonate with this, but okay, I had this boss, and it was literally like the last job I worked. And I had worked there before, like a couple years before, back in high school. But when I went back again, it was like I already had the job because I work like that. I'm very, very diligent with everything that I do. All the work that I am like putting into, all the work that I've been put into, whether it is a restaurant job or a caring job or anything like that, it's almost like I am meant to show these people what they can't see. And so that was me. I was just like genuinely, just imagine a fairy prancing around. That's literally what I felt like. And because of work and like because the physical realm of work doesn't affect me at all, I literally gain so much from being like, by physically working, But thank God that I'm not like that is not my destiny, and that is not the destiny for a lot of us here as well. But so this is a long video, and so if you're here for a reason, okay? Like, don't take that into misalignments or wrong or anything. Like, you are here for a reason. And especially now that you're here all the way into the end of this video, like, damn, I salute you. But to continue on with my story, I was just like a fairy prancing around. I was just like, all I had to do was do takeout, and I just had to like bag orders, make sure it was all there. It was like the easiest job ever. But he made it seem like it was the most like, he made it seem like it was like he made it seem almost like I was a doctor. Like, can you imagine that? And I'm just like bagging orders, taking it like that. I don't know. To that degree, that was very, 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 very too much. But it was almost this energy that he brought, this animosity. It was almost like he was so, and I think it wasn't that he was jealous, but he just didn't know. And so anytime that he would talk to somebody, he would joke and try to laugh, but it wasn't funny jokes. It was very sexual jokes. It was very ugly jokes. It was very like dark humor, but it wasn't even dark humor. It was literally just bombastic side eye. was ballistic, like some of the things that he was even shouting out his mouth, because it's a workplace, you know. But the thing was, whenever he would joke with somebody, he would then, because of the job, because it's so demanding, because he needs it to be this way, he would then be like so angry and so rude to his workers. Like he would literally belittle this one coworker, and like I would feel that, and I'm just like, I'd like to stand up, you know. And so here's one example. Okay, it was towards the end where I was leaving too. He was just egotistical, like very about himself. Like he was like that man where it's like when he talks about women, it's like he didn't care for women and like other people's feelings. But I caught on to it like that. And so when I was there in that energy and in that vicinity of him, even if he was just standing next to me, I would be like so blown. I would be so blown, because first of all, making somebody feel like they're less of a person just because of the work that they do or because they're here, like that's absolutely absurd. And so all these projections that he was like doing, he had, I mean, honestly, he had a lot of work to do within himself, but all these projections that he was like giving out to people, like a lot of the people were also like cooperating with him. They were like laughing with him. They were like, oh haha, yeah, like that's funny. Oh yeah, haha, you know, she's that, and you know, we should laugh at that. Like genuinely, like bullying, like that shit was so tremendous. But the things that stood out to me the most, he would joke around and then come back and be like so angry when somebody would mess up a ticket or an order. He'd be like, and he would get so mad. And anytime anybody would like see him coming, like they get scared, they get like turned over, like whoa. And I asked him like, yo, you should not care what he thinks, like. And like nobody would like listen to me. They just did whatever the fuck they want, and I don't care. I told them. But a lot of them started to not even be afflicted by his energy, but they started copying his energy, because they also did not know better, and they did not know that it was a projection that they were holding on to. But with all these negative words and all these negative things that he was bringing into was so bad, and I didn't like being there. I didn't like being in the same presence, like, and all this stuff. And so anytime he was like he wasn't there and the other manager was there, like it was bliss, it was peace. And then as soon as he stepped to the door, it was like chaos. And it's like this one person brought all this chaos and all this anger within them, and it was so dull. It was insane. I can talk about this forever, genuinely, but let me get to the point. He would make these like weird jokes to like the girls and stuff, and it's like, one thing he said to me was, I was like tying my apron and he was sitting on the chair there, and I'm just like working, I'm tying my apron, and he's like, oh, show off your good body or something. And I'm just like, nobody was there else was there to hear it, but like I let that shit like bounce back, and I'm sure it hit him. But the fact that I didn't say anything and I didn't let the emotion that it made me feel trigger to the point where I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? Are you good at that? Like, that's genuinely how I would crash out. Like, hello? Sorry, this is just me. But, like, bruh. And so, this other example, it was, so when I was leaving, right? I gave in my 2 weeks, and it was so weird. It was the weirdest shit ever. Like, he's, you know, that's a different story, a whole different story. But I gave him my 2 weeks and I explained to him, but he made me feel like, because I was putting in my 2 weeks in, I wrote a letter, you know, cordially, and telling him the date and everything. And I go to talk to him, and then it's like he was happy, he was smiling and all that, like, and just like his happy self. And then I was like, okay, bet, At least he's gonna be in a good mood so I can tell him this. And literally, I told him, and I could feel the mask fall off and the cadence come off of him, and all this energy just, it was like this like entity. It was like, he was like, what? But he didn't show that. He didn't show that at all. And he was like, okay, whatever, like, okay, just give me your 2 weeks. And then like I gave him a paper, and he didn't even open it or nothing. Like I gave him my 2 weeks and a word letter, right? I'm sure he just threw that shit away. And then he's like I didn't even get a full conversation with him. You know, at least like myself, I'd like to be respectful and say thanks for the job. Or no, he didn't give a fucking shit. You know, one being that I did my job the best, the best. And I was always helping everybody else. You know, I was such a helpful person, and to be taken that of advantage is something else. But like also to be taken that and be ungrateful is something out of this universe. But he didn't care for my 2 weeks and that I wrote it out. He didn't care. And he like, it was like 30 seconds, not even a full minute that went by. And he's like, all right. And his like demeanor changed and everything. He was so fucking angry. I don't know for what fucking reason, his own fucking problems. But he like gets up, turns around, and he's like, okay, send me a text of your two weeks or whatever. And then I'm just like, I gave it to you in the paper. And I turn around and I leave. And like after that shift, I was like, fuck it, I'm out of here anyways, and I'm gonna get this last check and I'm out of here. Fuck all of this shit, you know? Like I don't like people that think that they care and they think they care, and just because you start to believe that, or you start to say that or put that in a label to them, they're like, no, actually I'm actually gonna be so rude and so disrespectful to you because you don't deserve, you know? But like they were never really nice, they were never really respectful. They were always had this like animosity needing to be thrown at you, or at, you know what I mean? But anyways, and so I just remember like in that conversation too, the only thing that he said was, oh, you don't want to work anymore. And he like, I felt that. Anyways, and so after that, weeks passed by and I'm just like, damn, he said you don't want to work anymore. And in my head, that's my own problem. Like, first of all, you don't know what I've been through. Second of all, so what? Okay, so what? I left, so what? But the fact is that after I put my 2 weeks in, he was so rude. He was the most rude, the most disrespectful, the most eager, the most mean, the most manipulative, the most angry and ugly soul that I have ever seen in my life. Like, that shit was absolutely like so triggering, because, and I know you guys feel for me, but, and I appreciate that, but like, damn, people really don't understand they have something good until it's gone. And this energy that was being thrown at me, I literally was just like, you could have that, and it was being thrown back right at them, like, you know? And whoever was there trying to like one up me, like, no, you can't one up me, and you're not gonna one up anybody else if you can't even one up yourself. Like, go and figure it out by yourself, you know? But like, it was like this like immaturity, just this intense amount of immaturity that was being brought out. Like, they thought that they were an adult, like they thought, because they looked like it, because they look like they have this job in control, because they look like they have this managing position. But no person of any degree of any power is gonna be able to tell you, whoa, I am really in this right now, my bad. Nobody of any power is going to tell you what you are and how you should be, to the extent that you're gonna follow that. So putting into this like adjacent matter, people are gonna be the way they're gonna be, no matter what you say, no matter what you do. And, you know, infatuated by the reality that you are beautiful, you are so creative, you are so enlightening, you bring this peace, you bring this laughter, you bring this like joking manner with you bring this collective, you know? And when I was there, I just noticed everybody was just like telling me things, and they trusted in me and I entrusted in them, and it was beautiful. But it was just like with the manager, I was like, bro. And so every time that he would try to joke with me, it was like never like. And so one time, like, he asked me, I think he did, like, I was just like, okay, this is actually very good. he was telling a joke and I didn't laugh, and I told him it wasn't funny. Like, to say actually something funny, because this bullshit that he was saying wasn't funny. And then he comes back to me like a different day. I guess I was just in his head or something, because I didn't laugh at his joke and it wasn't funny. And he comes back a different day and he starts talking to me and he's like, bro, look, this is okay. Mind blown. He comes to me and he's like, Stephanie, can I ask you a question? Or can I? He was like trying to lecture me. He was like, you know, sometimes in life you have to just be this way and be this way and do this and have this and laugh at this. And so he was just like, just laugh at my joke next time. And in my head, why the fuck am I gonna laugh? It's not fucking funny. Like, no, bro, you are out of my, you are not in my, you don't even correlate with absolutely anything I ever have said. So why are, what the fuck? Anyways, but the fact was that, like, I genuinely was so astonished how it played out. And for my people that are really connected into this, like, world of spirituality, you know, intuitiveness, you're able to understand my story and what came of the story. But, like, people are really gonna show you their true colors no matter what. Even if they try to hide it, even if they think that they're putting on a mask for themselves, it's really just gonna come off, and somebody else is gonna come and rip that right off, whether you like it or not. And yeah, just be wary of, like, those kinds of people, because it was like a job. I had to work, you know, I had to be there, I had to be in these energies, I had to be in this overwhelming density of hatred. And what I would do, I'd bring my book, I'd bring my journal, I'd bring my sketchbook, and I'd just be writing my life away, drawing my life away, reading my life away, and I'd be the happiest ever. And then whenever he would come talk to me, or anybody else that I didn't enjoy having talked to me, because there was a couple people there that were trying to talk on my name and tell me that I'm this and I'm this other thing, when they had no idea who I was, you know. People don't know who you are. People have no idea. They have no clue who you are. And a lot of people take that as a disadvantage, but to you, it is the most advantage. You are at the highest of advantages with this fact that nobody knows who you are. Sorry, I just get so, like, I go ham. Okay. You guys have a beautiful day. Peace and love to you and your loved ones. Until the next video.